This chapter we are going to learn about chemical reactions and equations. To start with, we must know what is a chemical reaction. Whenever a chemical change occurs, we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place. So what is a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction is when a new substance is formed. Last year we have learned about physical and chemical changes. Physical changes are changes when no new substance is formed, while chemical changes are changes when a new substance is formed. Here are some examples of chemical change. In the first picture we can see the cooking of food. Now in this cooking of food is a chemical change because we see that the taste of raw food is so different from the taste of cooked food. So a new substance is formed during cooking of food, so we call it a chemical change. In the next picture we can see fermenting of grapes. Grapes are being fermented. And when grapes are fermented, the sugar in the grapes, when you eat the grape, you must have found them sweet, so they have sugar. The sugar in the grape is turned into wine. New substance. Wine is a new substance. It tastes so different from sugar. So we can say there is a chemical change taking place. In the last picture, here we see rusting of iron. Now rusting of iron is also a chemical change because pure iron is turned into iron oxide, and that is rust, Fe2O3, and it's reddish in color. It's a whole new substance formed. So this is also a chemical change. In the third picture, in the fourth picture here, you can see this lady eating an apple which is going to get digested, and digestion of food is also a chemical change because in digestion of food the insoluble food changes to soluble food. Like we've seen, the proteins change to amino acids. We have learned this in nutrition and so on. And in the last picture here we have when milk is left out in a hot day, you know what happens to it. It turns sour, and that is because the lactose in the milk, which is a sugar, becomes lactic acid, and the milk turns sour. There's a whole new substance formed, and hence that too is a chemical change. So a chemical reaction, what is a chemical reaction? Whenever a chemical change occurs, we can say chemical reaction has taken place. What is a chemical change? Is a change when a new substance is formed. Now we'll see what happens when a magnesium ribbon is burnt. Here's a picture of a magnesium ribbon here. Have you seen there? We're going to do this now. Burning of magnesium ribbon. So there's a magnesium ribbon here, and it is burnt. So when magnesium ribbon is burnt, it first burns with a dazzling flame, with a nice bright flame. In this picture, have you seen this? It's called a dazzling bright flame. And it leaves behind a powder of white powder of magnesium oxide. Fine. So basically when magnesium reacts, you get this reaction. The magnesium, it reacts with oxygen to give you magnesium oxide. So here we have magnesium, and one magnesium atom reacts with oxygen. Oxygen is O2, so there are two oxygen. It's a molecule of oxygen to give you a molecule of magnesium oxide. Now you would have noticed one thing here. In this case, there is one magnesium. Here there are two oxygen. This is the reactant side. This side is a reactant side that take part in the reaction. And this is the product side, the substances that are formed. And in here you find there is magnesium is 1 and oxygen is 1. So it is not balanced. Here one magnesium, here one magnesium, fine. Here oxygen 2, but here oxygen only 1. So what has happened to that one oxygen? Has it got destroyed? No, it cannot get destroyed, because matter can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. That's the law of conservation of mass. We solve this by balancing the reaction. This discrepancy we solve by balancing the reaction. Now balancing the reaction is a complete separate topic that we will do a little later. So every chemical reaction has to be balanced, means the number of reactions on the number of atoms on the reactant side must be equal to number of atoms on the product side. Now there's a little precaution to be taken before magnesium is burnt. Now every magnesium ribbon, we know magnesium, here is magnesium. This is a magnesium ribbon, and magnesium is highly reactive. So as soon as you make a magnesium ribbon, it will react with the oxygen and the carbon dioxide from the air. It reacts with this and it forms a layer here of magnesium carbonate. So before you now start your burning, what you need to do is remove this layer. How would you remove this layer? By rubbing it with sandpaper. You know, you have the sandpaper, this rough paper that carpenters use. So you rub it, and then what will happen? You remove that this outer carbon is removed. You have a fresh piece of magnesium ribbon, and then you burn it.